So dear students, we are in the middle of our study of the poem A Thing of Beauty, written by John Keats. And last time I was talking to you about a thing of beauty, like some shape of beauty moves away the fall from our darker spirits. These were the lines in the last stanza. Some shape of beauty moves away the fall from our darker spirits. Shape of beauty, some shape of beauty means a thing of beauty. Something of beauty, a thing of beauty moves away, removes the pall from our covering. Pall means covering, removes the covering from our darker spirits. Now, the next stanza describes what can be the shape of beauty, what can be the thing of beauty. The next stanza is a longer one and it describes a number of things of beauty. I repeat myself. The next stanza describes a number of things of beauty, that move away the pall from our dark, that removes the covering from our dark spirits or saddest spirits or sadness, so that lifts up the things that lift up our spirits. So beginning in such the sun the moon. So such the sun the moon. The sun is a thing of beauty. It gives you delight. It removes your sadness. It fills you with energy, enthusiasm, vigor, hope, strength, warmth. That's why it is a thing of beauty. It gives life to you. Such the sun. And the moon. The moon, again, is a thing of delight, is a thing of beauty that makes you delighted. It gives you pleasure to look at the moon. When you're sad, you look at the moon and it gives you pleasure. It changes your mood. Doesn't it? So here in this stanza, the poet is describing the shapes of beauty or the things of beauty that raise your spirits, that gives you pleasure, that lasts forever. So the first two things that the poet has mentioned are the sun and the moon. And the next line says, trees old and young sprouting a shady boon. Trees old and young. So old and young trees. Sprouting means giving out a shady boon. Boon means blessing. So trees bless you. Trees give you a blessing. Trees give you so many blessings. Here it especially talks about a shady blessing, means the blessing of the shadow of the trees. The blessing of the shadow of the trees. So old and young trees give out. Sprout means give out or give away to you the blessing, the boon of shade. The blessing of shade. Under the trees you can rest and you can sleep a sleep of peace. You can dream sweet dreams under the tree. It gives you rest from the sun, means from the problems of your life. So trees old and young means old and young trees giving out a shady boon, means a blessing. A boon means a blessing of shade. So it gives you shade and it makes you delighted. So trees are a source of delight. They are a thing of beauty, and the joy that they give lasts forever. So I hope it is clear to you what shady boon means. A boon or a blessing that gives you shade, okay? That gives you shelter from the problems of life, that gives you refuge from the problems of life, okay? Now next line says, for simple sheep and such are daffodils. And for simple sheep, so the line continues, trees old and young sprouting a shady boon for simple sheep, for simple people. Sheep refers to simple people, innocent people, docile people, gullible people. These poets, these romantic poets like John Keats often used the word sheep to mean simple, docile, rustic, country people. So old and young trees give a shady blessing to the innocent, gullible, country people or rural people, okay? Sheep means rural, simple rural people. Okay. Now then it says, and such are daffodils with green world they live in. And such are daffodils with the green world they live in. So daffodil is a kind of a flower and it is very beautiful. So daffodils are also a thing of beauty that gives you pleasure, that lasts forever. And such are daffodils with the green world they live in, and daffodils live in the green world means the forest. So the daffodils are a thing of beauty and a source of everlasting joy, and so is the green world in which the daffodils live. So here, daffodils are one thing of beauty, and green world means the forest is another thing of beauty. Okay, so the forest is a thing of beauty that gives you everlasting pleasure, and daffodils that live or that bloom in the forest, they are also a source of everlasting joy. So such are daffodils with the green world they live in. So they live in the green world means the forest. So the forest is a thing of beauty, and daffodils are also. And both of them give you joy that lasts forever. Immortal joy, eternal joy. I repeat myself. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. So daffodils and the forest are a joy forever. And you'd say, why I'm so repetitive? Why I take so much time to explain one thing? Well, I'm repetitive because repetition really gets the thing to sink deep into your heart. It really gets deep into your head. So it is so necessary. That's a method I use to really drive the poem home to you. Okay? And then next thing in the list is clear rills. Clear rills means clear streams. Now how can streams be clear? Streams of clear water, streams of pure water are another thing of beauty, and they are a joy. A thing of beauty is a joy forever. Clear rills or streams of clear and pure water give you eternal joy. Okay? Clear rills. That for themselves a cooling covert make. So clear rills means streams of clear and pure water that for themselves a cooling covert make. So I was talking about clear rills that for themselves a cooling covert make against the hot season. So clear rills means the streams of clear and pure water that for themselves make a cooling covert. Covert means covering or shelter or refuge. So the clear rills are the streams for themselves make a cooling covert, cooling covering, cooling shelter, cooling refuge, cooling protection from the hot season, from the heat of the sun. How do they do it? Well, there are plants on either side of the streams, and those plants they reflect on the water, and that is the protection against the hot season. So they make a cooling cover. They make a shelter that gives them rest from the hot season, from the heat of the sun. And I already told you how they make this covering, how they make this shelter against the hot season. Well, there are plants growing on either side of the streams, and those plants overshadow the waters of the streams, and that's how these streams make a cooling covert against the hot season. Okay, I repeat it once again. Clear rills, streams of clear water. Rills means the streams that for themselves a cooling covert make, and they make for themselves a covering, a cooling covering, a cooling shelter from the hot season, because there are plants growing on either side of the rills or the streams, and they are overshadowing the waters of the rills, and that's how they receive a protection from those plants against the hot season. Okay, now the next thing in the list is the mid-forest break. Break means thicket, means a lot of bushes together, a lot of plants together. So the mid-forest means in the middle of the forest there are a lot of plants together, or there are a lot of bushes together. So there are a lot of bushes growing together in the middle of the forest, and they are another thing of beauty. And why they are another thing of beauty? How come they give you pleasure? Well, because they are rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. That's what the poem says. I write it down and explain it to you. Rich with a sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. So those bushes growing together in the middle of the forest, they are rich with, means they are replete in a scattering. Sprinkling means a scattering. One here, one there, one here, one there, over there, like that. So rich means having a lot of something, replete in something. Rich with a scattering of fair. Fair means beautiful. Rich with a scattering of beautiful musk rose blooms, musk roses that are blooming there. Musk rose is a kind of a rose, and they are blooming there. So on those bushes are growing beautiful musk roses, and they're blooming there. Fair means beautiful, musk roses means they're a kind of a flower, and then blooms means they're blooming. Sprinkling means scattering, one here, one there, one here, one over there, like that. One on this branch, one on this bush, one on the another bush, one on the another bush, like that. Rich means replete in, having a lot of something, to be rich in some quality. So here, these bushes these thickets or these hedges are rich with a scattering of beautiful, fair means beautiful, musk rose blooms. I repeat myself. In the middle of the forest there are a lot of bushes. Break means a lot of bushes together, thicket. And those bushes are rich with, means they have a lot of something. They have a lot of musk rose blooms, means they have a lot of blooming musk roses on them. They are rich with a sprinkling, means a scattering, one here, one there. They have a scattering of fair means beautiful musk rose blooms. So they are growing a lot of beautiful musk roses on those bushes, okay? And they are another thing of beauty. They also give you joy eternal, joy everlasting, okay? And then the next thing in the list is, and such too is the grandeur of the dunes. We have imagined for the mighty dead. Such too is the grandeur. Grandeur means the splendor or the greatness. So another thing of beauty is the greatness or the splendor of the doomsday. Doomsday means the judgment day, the last day when God will judge the world according to its works. Some will be sent into heaven and some will be sent into hell. So the greatness and the splendor of that day, of that doomsday, of that judgment day is another thing of beauty, and that will also give eternal pleasure, eternal joy. Grandeur of the dooms, greatness of the doomsday, greatness of the judgment day that we have imagined for the mighty dead, that we have imagined for the powerful dead. Mighty means powerful. The people who were powerful, the people who were now mighty dead means, like they died for the sake of their country. They died for some righteous cause, for some holy cause. So we have imagined for those mighty righteous people great reward on the day of judgment. They are dying and they are dead and they are sleeping under the earth right now. But on the judgment day, they would all be raised from their graves and they'll face God, and God is gonna reward them. And that day is gonna be great. So the greatness of the dooms, the greatness of the judgment day that we have imagined for the mighty, for the powerful people who died for a righteous cause, who are going to receive a reward from God and who are going to inherit heaven. So the greatness of the doomsday, or the greatness of the judgment day, when the righteous people will meet their God and receive a reward from them, that is another thing. That greatness of that day is another thing of beauty that will give eternal joy. I repeat myself. Doomsday is the judgment day, and the poet has taken it from the Bible, where it says that God is gonna raise people. People will rise from their graves bodily, of course, and God is gonna judge them, and some will be sent to heaven and some to hell. So we have imagined great reward, splendid, magnificent, grand reward for the mighty dead, for the powerful dead. And why we are calling them powerful? They are dead, but they are powerful because they died for a righteous cause. They died for some great cause. They died for the cause of humanity. They died serving God, or they died serving their motherlands. So we guys have imagined great reward for them. And the greatness of that day is another thing of pleasure, is another thing of beauty that gives you pleasure everlasting. Okay guys. Now the next thing in the list of the things of beauty is tales. Tales means stories. It says all lovely tales that we have heard or read. So another thing of beauty is beautiful stories. Lovely means beautiful and tales means stories. Beautiful stories that we have heard or read. They're another thing of beauty, and they give us another reason to be joyful forever. They give you a lasting joy. That joy lasts forever in your hearts. So as I told you, these romantic poets like John Keats, they were always attracted towards the supernatural stories or stories about the supernatural. They were so attracted towards and fascinated by the Middle Ages, by the stories of the Middle Ages. They loved the past. They were the lovers of the past. They loved to listen to and read the stories of the past. So all the beautiful tales, he says, all the beautiful stories about the past or from the past that we have heard or we have read, all of them are another thing of beauty and another source of everlasting joy. That's what the poet says here. And this was the last thing in the list. There are uncountable things like this everywhere. Look at the sun, look at the moon, look at the stars, look at everything, look at the sky and everything that is there in the sky. Look at the heavenly bodies, look at the earth, look at the forest, look at the stars, look at the forest, look at different kinds of animals, look at different kinds of fish, look at different kinds of turtles, tortoises, different kinds of trees and plants, etc. So there are uncountable things of beauty that give you joy, which lasts forever in your heart. Now the last lines, the final two lines say, an endless fountain of immortal drink. Endless means never ending, unending, eternal, everlasting, ever flowing, fountain, source of immortal drink. What is immortal drink? Immortal drink is the nectar. Once you drink it, you are immortal. That's what the mythology says. So there is an endless fountain, there is an unlimited source, there is an eternal source of immortal drink, eternal source of immortal joy, eternal source of life, eternal source of immortal joy, pouring unto us from the heaven's brink. Pouring means, pouring, coming out in large amount. Pour means to give away in large amount. So that endless fountain of immortal drink is pouring out or coming out or coming out on us. Pouring out unto us means coming out on us, raining on us in large amount from the heaven's brink, from the edge of heaven, from the edge of paradise. So the poet probably here says that all the joy comes from the heaven's brink means from the edge of, from the brink of the paradise, because the God of heaven is the source of all beautiful things, and He is the source of all delight and joy and happiness, and He is the source of every good thing that ever existed and that is in existence. He is the source. So on us is raining. We are being showered with immortal drink, with eternal joy from the heaven's brink, from the brink of the heaven, from the edge of the heaven, from the edge of the paradise. That fountain of joy is endless, unending. And it is simple to understand, as long as God causes the flowers to bloom, so long as we go on taking pleasure from them. So long as the God of heaven causes the sun to rise, so long we'll be taking pleasure, warmth, energy from the sun. As long as there is night, day and night, as long as there are blessings of the day and blessings of the night, as long as there is energy of the day or the energy of the sun and the rest of the night or the rest of the moon, so long we'll be enjoying our life. So the source of all beautiful things and the joy that comes from them is God of heaven. That's why that immortal drink is pouring unto us, is coming out on us or raining on us from the heaven's brink, from the edge of the heaven, from God Himself. I repeat myself. There is an endless fountain of immortal drink. There is an endless, unending, eternal fountain, an eternal source of immortal drink, eternal source of eternal life, eternal source of life, eternal source of immortal joy. And that is pouring unto us, or coming out in large amount on us, or it is raining over us from the heaven's brink. Means God is the ultimate source of every beautiful thing and the joy that comes from them also. So this poem ends beautifully, doesn't it? It began beautifully, it ran beautifully, and it ends beautifully with a great note. Yes, that the joy, that endless fountain of immortal drink is pouring unto us from the heaven's brink, nowhere else but from the heaven's brink. Because God is the ultimate source of every good thing, every beautiful thing, of the joy and happiness that we receive from His creation. That's it, guys. Thank you very much. It was nice studying this poem with you. and I really hope that you enjoyed it. Now if you have any questions, any doubts, you can really write to me and I'll write back to you. Okay, thank you very much.